and I was very impressed with different organizations, but the airborne community, both the 82nd, 101st, and some I've read stories about the airborne in the Pacific, and something hit me about that type of fighting that they did, how intense it was, the challenges that they really experienced, and what we know today in history, most people are familiar with. I went straight to the recruiter. There was no talking about, oh, here's a career field for you. I walked in straight and said, I want to go airborne.
Now, being one who is very interested in the military and the military experience, having seen this triple nickel paratrooper, I was sold. Becoming a paratrooper was something that I wanted to do. I always had this thought of going into the military, and which branch or what job I wanted to do was up in the air until I saw this paratrooper from the 555 Parachute Infantry Battalion.
Well, it's obviously the history. It's the history of the airborne. It's who came before us, who's there now, and who's going to come after us.
You could be drafted, and then you could volunteer for a paratrooper, but you could not be drafted and put in a paratrooper. Didn't work.
The airborne, I think you get a different quality of soldier, which has to do for volunteering for jump school. You get a more fit soldier. Typically, I think a little bit smarter soldier, and I'm biased, but I firmly believe that. And the unit has more discipline than the non-airborne units, which therefore makes you a better soldier and also probably keeps you from getting killed when you go into combat.
What does it mean to be a paratrooper? Suffice it to say, it goes beyond just earning the coveted silver wings. It is indeed a way of life, a mindset, and a calling. It is the American paratrooper who continues to strike fear into the hearts of our enemies, keeping them awake at night with the thought of tenacious men and women descending from the sky to fight and win against any foe foolish enough to challenge them. In 1940, the U.S. War Department approved the formation of a Parachute Test Platoon under the direction and control of the Army's Infantry Branch. On 25 June 1940, General George C. Marshall, Chief of Staff of the United States Army, authorized the War Department to immediately establish a Parachute Test Platoon to experiment with the development and employment of airborne troops. Then Major William C. Lee, who had observed German paratroopers training while conducting tank training in Germany, was tasked with managing the development of the Army's airborne forces. This Dunn, North Carolina native would later be the first commanding general of the 101st Airborne Division and was later given the title of Father of the American Airborne. Of the 200 Fort Benning soldiers that applied, only 48 enlisted men were selected to proceed with training. These men endured the rigorous entrance exam, 7 weeks of daunting training, hours of packing their own parachutes, and the ultimate challenge of testing the unknown, exiting an aircraft while in flight. On 16 August 1940, the platoon boarded a Douglas B-18 Alpha Bolo bomber and took off from Fort Benning's Lawson Field. All paratroopers landed safely, and their leap into history is why we celebrate National Airborne Day on the 16th of August every year. These men went on to serve in the airborne during World War II and continue to inspire others to follow their path. From Operation Torch in November of 1942 to modern operations, American paratroopers continue to honor the proud history and storied traditions of the airborne. Although they have many reasons on why they volunteered to go airborne, paratroopers all agree that being airborne is more than just a method of infiltration or a badge worn on a uniform. It is a calling, a way of life. Thank you to those who came before us, those still serving, and those who will one day carry on this proud legacy and storied tradition.
Currahee, airborne all the way.
H- all the way.
Strike cold, airborne all the way.
Let's go, strike cold, fury from the sky, H-, airborne all the way.
Above the rest, let's go, sua sponte, de oppresso libere. Airborne, all the way, and then some.